Hello and welcome to the Fish Tank Podcast. I am your host, Sebastian Bone, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Sheg,
Hi, people. How you doing?
old boy Leon,
What's going on, peeps?
and Rory.
Yo, yo, what's good?
This week, we're going to be doing a full film review of the film Sinners. So if you have not seen the film and you do want to watch it, spoiler alert, because we are going to spoil everything about this movie. Before we get into it, though, I just want to say for everyone that's joined us so far, thank you very much for watching and listening. If you're new to the podcast, please like and share and subscribe and let everyone know what we're doing so we can get more people watching, get more content. And we'd love to hear from all of you and leave any comments in the comment box. If you want us to review a movie, if you want us to talk about a certain subject matter, we are completely ready and up for that. So thank you very much, and on with the show. Before we get into it, let's just give a little bit of backstory about the film. The film was released in April 2025, made 366 million worldwide. It's directed by Ryan Coogler. Ryan Coogler also directed Fruitvale Station, also directed Creed, Black Panthers 1 and 2, and Judas and the Black Messiah. The one thing most of those films, all but one, have in common is they all star Michael B. Jordan. Today's film is set in 1932 Mississippi Delta. Elijah Smoke and Elias Stock Moore, played by Michael B. Jordan. Yes, he plays two characters, so you get twice as much as him as you normally would. Are a couple of World War I vet gangsters who use some money they stole from Chicago to return to Mississippi and purchase a disused sawmill from a Klan member with ambitions to turn it into a Juke-Joint or a public house, as we would probably know it. Little did they know that things would not be so easy, as evil was lurking around the corner. What did you guys first think about this movie? Just initial thoughts. Don't go too far. Just your initial thoughts.
I thought it was a mixture of films. Like, I think he got ideas from like Dusk Till Dawn, put it in there. That's one of the feels that I got out of it. It kind of came out of nowhere for me with in terms to the whole evil aspect to it. But
Okay.
it was an intriguing watch.
Rory?
For me, well, yeah. I mean, going into the film, I kind of knew it had that element to it because I only watched it last week. So I was looking out for that aspect and how well they were going to handle that. I kind of feel like it's a film that if you watched on surface level, I think you could take away one thing, and if you look at it in a deeper level to see some of like the representations and what they're doing in that movie, then which I was already looking for, I think it pumps up the rating for what you might view this film.
So you're saying this film's got layers? Okay.
Yeah.
Sheg?
For me, yeah, I was actually very, very impressed with this film. I was pleasantly surprised. To be fair, it's the first film I've seen this year, and we're in September. It's the first film I've seen this year that I would say, yeah, I'll watch that again. And I think I do need to watch it again, actually, because
Oh, first film you say you'd watch again. I thought you meant the first film you'd watch this year.
no, it was worth watching. I've watched many rubbish, but this film, like, right, for me, let me just give you a little bit of background. For me, I do not watch horror films.
Mm.
You can ask my girl, you can ask anybody. I don't watch horror films. I'm not interested. No, since I
Okay.
watched it, since I watched them once back in the day when I was too young to watch them. So I don't watch any horror films. So when this first came out, it came out as a horror. I weren't interested. But then when we discussed it, I thought, yeah, let me watch this film, see how it goes. And actually, yeah, it's a deep film, as Rory said. And yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Okay. Interesting. I think I'm gonna have to be the unpopular opinion then today because yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I like this film. I don't know if I like this film as much as everybody else liked this film. I wanted to like this film. I went into this movie thinking, okay, I like a bit of Michael B. Jordan, and I like what I'm seeing here in terms of the tone of the film, the way the film looked, the way it was shot was quite pretty. I just thought, okay, I'm ready to get into this. But Yeah, let's get into the review. Okay, let's just get into the review. I had some problems with this movie. Yeah. So it starts off with Michael B. Jordan playing both characters, sharing a cigarette, I guess, outside a car, discussing their plans of opening up this club. All right.
Hmm.
They decide that they're gonna have to go on like some sort of like recruitment spree, indeed.com type of thing where they go around trying to rally up the troops and find all the correct members to get the club started. Now, the first one I think they get is a young boy called Sammy, who is their cousin, right? He comes along,
Guitarist, yeah.
the guitarist. He comes along for the ride, um, and
More than the ride.
well, yeah, I mean, he comes along for the journey. In
He's
terms
he's a
the
musician,
recruitment.
isn't he?
Yeah,
He's one
but
of the
what I'm
musicians.
saying is he's already there to go and recruit all the other members of the band, of the crew. Yeah. So he comes along literally, I mean, he comes along for the ride, not like figuratively. But
Okay.
so yeah. And yeah, Sammy's actually played by a real musician as well, called Miles Catton, who is a blues singer. Apparently, I haven't heard his music, but I did Google him because obviously he looked like he could actually play music. Just from me watching the film, I thought he looks like an actual musician, and it turns out he is. So
Well,
that's what.
I thought that because the way his voice was, I was like, his voice when he was talking, it sounded weird.
It sounded
So then I
way
was
too
like,
deep for his body.
Yeah. So then I was like, have they picked this guy because he can do the music thing, which
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's the first thing that I noticed. I was like, why is his voice so deep? And I had to check my settings on my system. Like, have I got something going on here? Is there a filter on this guy's voice? Because he looks really small, but his voice is really, really deep. But so yeah, they set off to go and find some members of the crew. I think the first place they pitch up was it the signage place? There was I think there's a character called Grace, a Chinese lady.
Yeah.
She's played by
But
Lee
hold
Jin-wei.
But
on,
no,
bruv. You're
before they get
skipping.
there,
You're skipping. Yeah. Before that, they meet the Ku Klux Klan man
yeah.
Oh, very
because
true. Yeah. They go
he
and
comes
purchase the
late.
place. Yeah, they purchased the place, don't they? Yeah. We're not
But
gonna
he
skip.
comes
Yeah,
late.
yeah. But we're not gonna skip that far ahead. That's the end. What you're about to do.
No, at the beginning,
Yeah.
they buy the place of the Ku Klux Klan man. Remember?
They
Yeah.
don't know that he's Ku Klux Klan, though.
That's what I'm saying. You're going too far ahead
No,
already.
but they buy the thing off the man. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a very important. You see, you didn't get this. He turned up late, very late, when
Who,
they
the
were
Ku
meant to
Klux
meet
Klan
him.
man?
Yes, because when they were smoking that cigarette, they were waiting for
Yeah,
someone. They were
yeah,
waiting
yeah.
for that man.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
turned up. He
Yeah,
turned
he
up
turns
very
up
late,
Yeah, he turns
and
up late.
that because he turned up late, they had to split up. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you have to, tell the story from the
Very
beginning, so
good
everyone
point.
can
Very
follow.
good
So
point.
everyone can
Very good
follow.
point. So they're waiting for this man to pitch up so they could buy the sawmill, which is what they're going to use to turn into this. What's the actual name of the thing what they call it in the film? They call it
Is it like the
it's called a Juke-Joint.
Juke-Joint, yeah.
So they're waiting for this man. They're going to buy the sawmill from the Ku Klux Klan man. And they do know the guy's racist because he tries the whole trope of calling them boy, and then eventually they have to like show him that they're strapped and they got guns. So he calms down on the whole boy talk after that. But anyway, they pay the man, they get the Juke-Joint, they split up, and they then decide to go start recruiting all the other members. They got Sammy with them in the car. They pull up, I think, outside of Grace's place, who apparently she does signage. Is that what that was her gig, wasn't it? Like they're buying a sign off of her. Am I wrong thinking that?
She just the signage was the last thing. They also do liquor, alcohol and stuff.
So she was
'Cause
supplying all the alcohol.
They had two shops, didn't they?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
had one shop on either side of the road.
But the reason why
And
the
then-
signage stuck out for me the most because I don't think we actually got to see the sign. Did we see the sign?
Yeah, no, you did. At one point, you do see the sign.
Okay,
You do
because they
see
made
it
a big deal about this sign. Like he negotiates for the sign. So I thought, am I going to see some amazing sign? And they even talk about, oh, but we've only got one color left. And he's like, okay, we'll throw in the flowers and that'll be fine. So I thought, oh, this sign's gonna be fire. Like that's what I was waiting to see. But
No, so I think the purpose behind that was to show that so similar to before because it was Smoke that was doing that.
mm,
So before he even went into the store, he was then schooling the young girl about how
about
you conduct
negotiating.
and negotiate and do business. And I think it was exactly the same. It's like, okay, I know I can get this sign if I want this sign, but I don't want to do nothing for free and I don't want them to feel slighted. So it's that whole, we're in a relationship, we're in business together. This is how you approach it. So I don't think he cared about the sign. It's just the dance about arranging
The
arranging
negotiation.
things. Yeah, arranging negotiations. But I
Yeah.
think they were doing more like Sheg said, like the liquor. I don't know if they were supplying food. They were the
No,
other
because
side
Anna
of the
was gonna do the
vibes.
food, wasn't she? Anna's gonna
Oh
be
right, yeah,
doing the
yeah, yeah.
food. So yeah, okay. So they providing the liquor. So I suppose that was a good first stop, really, because without the liquor, you don't really have much of a
Dry, bro.
bar.
It's
So
dry. You can't have a Duke club with no
But
liquor, bro.
okay, you see, this is where I thought the film that scene I thought was a beautiful scene
Which
because
scene? Which scene? Sorry. When he's
we're
going to the
talking
shop.
about from when Smoke pulls up and he's got this truck full of stuff. No, because they got the contraband from the truck, didn't they?
Yeah.
So he's
mhm.
got this truck and he's got to go and see the Chinese guy
Who
and
did he
his
put in the
wife.
truck? Who did he put in the truck?
The young girl.
The young girl,
But
yeah.
yeah, because he couldn't leave it there. And he said, if anyone comes looking too hard, hoot the horn
Yeah.
and he'll come. Right.
Mm.
So now this is where I thought it was a beautiful scene because he walked into one side of the street was like black and one side of the street was white back in the
Mhm.
days. So he walked into the black into where the man was into the black shop, yeah, and you could see that the shop was a bit drab. You had no frills sort of thing, and the daughter was there,
Mm.
and like blah blah blah. They did their little chat, and then
Mhm.
then he talked about the missus. Oh, she's around the other shop, and he crossed the road. And when he went into that shop, did you see the difference?
Mm.
Mhm.
It was like it was plush. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
So I thought that it was a beautiful contrast of the way they filmed it and everything, and the acting as well, the cinematography. I
Mhm.
thought it was good. I thought it was good, but I was looking at it deep still. So
Okay.
there you
Okay.
go.
I think at this point I was doing the same thing as you there at that point. But yeah, I'll let you know when my brain wasn't doing that. But anyway, so they move on from this place. I think the next place they go to is oh yeah, they go to the town and they go and pick up what's his name? Delta Slim, who's another blues player. He plays instruments, he plays piano, and I think he's just an all-rounder by the looks of things. Is he not playing harmonica when they get there?
Yeah. What's
Um,
the name of that actor again? He's from England, isn't he?
yeah, so he played by Delroy Lindo,
Darren Roylindo, that's it. Yeah.
and he's in everything. He's one
He's
of
a
those
good
actors
actor.
you see a lot. He's a very, very good actor. Not only is he from England, do you know that he grew up in Lewisham? And you know what school he went to? He
Nah,
went to
tell me.
Woolwich Poly.
Are you serious?
I couldn't believe
Lies.
it. Yeah, when I was
Serious.
Googling it, I was like, oh my gosh, the guy's a local boy. That is a proper local boy. But yeah, he grew up in Lewisham and went to Woolwich Poly. So
That's a great
interesting.
school, by
Bro,
the way,
it's
Woolwich
from
Poly.
the ends. He's from the ends.
He's from the ends. He's from the ends. And I've seen that guy
Mm.
in so many things. I did not know that he was from the ends. But yeah. So yeah, they strike up a deal with him. They ask him to join the crew. Again, a bit more negotiating there because he's not really fully on board at this point. He already has a gig at another club that he doesn't want to leave them in the lurch because he's been at that club for 10 years and believes that he could do another 10 years there. And he knows that Smoke is probably all about a one night thing and then it's going to fade away after a couple of weeks. And then he's given up a permanent gig for pretty much nothing. But he's
No, but this is
persuaded.
Stack. This is Stack that's
Yeah,
been
sorry, it's
negotiating.
Stack. It's Stack. All right, yeah, you do have to get used to in the movie it bouncing between Stack and Smoke because they both played by Michael B. Jordan.
But
So
you can
And they
differentiate
both look the
between them.
same because
They
they're
got
twins.
they wear different
yeah,
colors though. They wear different colors. One of them
yes,
wears
they wear
red and
different
one of them wear
colors.
blue.
Yeah,
So who's the one that wears red? That's Stack, right?
That's Stack,
That's
yeah.
Stack, and then
And
Smokey's the one
Smoke
that's
wears blue.
blue.
But
Yeah.
but I think this initial scene is to also show the difference in temperament between the two brothers.
Yes.
I think by them splitting up was our chance to then see, okay, how they
The
react.
characters, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I think there is some truth to that.
Because you know when he went to that store, right?
Mm.
And he told the girl to watch the van, right? He knew something was going to go down. Because didn't he pull out his gun on someone and shoot them in their bottom or something?
He
shot
shoots
two of them.
two people.
He
He
did.
shoots two people.
Yeah, he does a
Right.
madness. You know, he's just a madman off the. He don't care, bruv. That's crazy to me. So I thought when Sheg was talking about that, that was because I saw it in April. That was the part that stood out to me. Just him in the middle of the street shooting someone in the bottom. That's what I remember.
And I think as
I-
well, I think his temperament. I mean, obviously, they're supposed to be World War One vets.
yeah.
That have spent like time in Chicago at this point, and
So they're gangsters as well.
so yeah, they're gangsters, and then they're on from a run from robbing gangsters. So which is where
Al
they got
Capone.
Al Capone, yeah,
Al
Al
Capone.
Capone, yeah.
So this is where they got their fortune from. So they're not like idiot brothers. They're people that can look after themselves definitely. And obviously they're on a mission to set up something right now. So they're setting up shop literally. So yeah, they negotiate. The guy seems to decide that he wants to do it because they offered him beer. I don't know. I mean, did I miss something there, or did they not just offer him a beer? He tasted this beer and he was like, right, I'm down.
Well,
I think
you
it's
know
like-
something. It's
Yeah, go on.
it's you know something about that hooch, bro. Like you need that sweet nectar.
That sweet nectar. That was the part that I thought to myself, okay, all right, I wasn't
No, but
expecting
it's like prohibition times,
Vision,
isn't
yeah,
it?
definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
It's when he
Prohibition.
told him how many crates he had of it, he was
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
I'm on
okay.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
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 there's like gold dust back then.
He said, screw that other place. I'm coming for that nectar. So yeah. And at this point as well, we're introduced to another character now, which is one of the love interests for what's his name? Is it Stack? Sorry.
When he's at the train station.
Yeah. So we're at a train station. We get introduced to
Yeah,
we're introduced to Mary. And Mary is I suppose a light-skinned girl.
Biracial.
Everyone thinks that she's white, but she's like very fair skinned. She's supposed to be someone that they've known for a very long time, and she's in some form of relationship with Stack. But at this point,
Sorry.
she's upset with him because she feels like she's been slighted since her parents died, and they didn't quite show the respect that she was expecting at the time. So there's a little bit of friction between the two characters at this point, but they go their separate ways at this point and move on, and before we know, we're back on the road to go and find.
There was another character that was introduced around about that time, at the train station. That black married woman, remember the young married woman?
Oh, of
Oh,
course,
yeah,
They have a love
Yeah,
interest.
yeah,
But
exactly. That's who I thought you was talking about when you said the love interest. I thought,
Mm.
that woman. Okay, we'll talk about her a bit later, but that was another character introduced at that stage at the train station because they
Yeah.
kind of did they not do a little he stood up on a crate and said sung something or played something and said we'll be playing at so and so tonight, come down to so and so tonight.
Well, little Sammy takes an interest in her, and her name is
Pearline
Pearline. Yeah,
Pearline?
something like that.
Something like that.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a married woman, isn't it? She's a married woman.
Yeah.
She's a married woman. He takes interest in her, but she's also a singer,
Yeah.
which is why I think why he also takes an interest in her. And he tells her he's going to be performing at the club tonight and wants her to join him. She's playing the whole kind of like not interested but is interested kind of role. They're doing like some flirty between the two of them. And then she kind of like parts ways. So then we're back on the road and we are on to the next pit stop. And the next pit stop is in the middle of a cotton field, actually. They think they see Cornbread. Is that right? Is he the next one?
The big guy, isn't it?
Big guy.
Cornbread, yeah.
Because
yeah,
everyone
yeah.
knows if you're going to open a club, you need to have a bouncer at the club. So Cornbread is a big dude working in the cotton field. At first, he's a little bit reluctant, but his wife says, no, go and get that money. So yeah, he jumps on board. He's on for the ride and on his way to the Juke-Joint. So Where do we go from there? Where do we go from there?
Uh,
Um,
is that not okay? So after that, am I jumping too far by saying we see the guy running towards that sort of house, like
I think we're in that scene. Yeah,
the,
I
the,
think
the
that.
little house there? Well, from what I can remember, there's this guy. He's running away from something or somebody or some people, and he comes up to one of these houses in the middle of nowhere, basically on the prairie, bangs on the door, or the door opens and the woman comes out. I don't even know. She has a shotgun. I could just
Yeah,
imagine that she would
she
have a
definitely
shotgun.
got a
Yeah,
shotgun.
yeah. And he's like, "Oh, please, please help me," blah blah blah. And
Not
he
a
shows
shotgun.
her
She's got a rifle. She's got
a
a rifle.
rifle. Yeah, a
Yeah,
rifle.
yeah, yeah.
And he's like begging her to let him in. Now
Mm,
he's not rushing in the place.
no.
He's begging. He's waiting out on the pool, begging her, like looking back, and he offers her some coins or something, a
Mm,
couple of free coins. He goes, "Hey, this is all I've got." But these are like, they look like weird coins anyway. Um, Next thing, she lets him in for some reason. Uh, and then the next thing
hold
you
on, hold
see
on,
is,
hold on, hold on. But you're getting too far ahead
go on
because it's
him.
important to note this guy is sunburnt to hell. He's literally smoldering at this point
Yeah, oh
when
yeah,
he
yeah, yeah.
reaches the door.
Yeah, it's like he's catching fire.
Like if this guy turned up at your door, you're not just letting this dude in because there's smoke coming off the guy's back and there's
Yeah,
bare blood blisters all over him and stuff. He don't look like someone you want to let in, even if just the fact that you don't even want him sitting on your sofas looking like that. You know what I mean? Staining it
yeah,
up.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
But the reason why they let him in, what's the reason why they let him in? Did they not see the people that were after him or no at this time? I can't
no,
remember.
no, they don't.
no, no.
They didn't
I
see the
think it
people.
was the coin. I think it was the coin.
It
They
was the
saw the
money.
coin.
They were
Obviously,
enticed by the money. Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they saw the coin. Yeah, go on, Sheg, you can carry on.
Yeah, so next scene is now you see the people that are chasing him, yeah, and are they like I don't, Navajo Indian type looking Native Americans,
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah, and they rock up and yeah, the way that she answers the door to them is more hostile than the guy that was smoldering in front of
Yeah,
her,
because
yeah,
they're native Indian.
because of their appearance, because of their Indians, basically. So I could definitely tell, oh, this woman's got a racial problem, yeah,
I could tell
because
that when
she,
she opened the door with with a rifle, bro.
Yeah, and if she
so
and
she's basically,
if she's saying if
go
she's
on.
saying Indian instead of Indian,
That's
Exactly.
it,
you know
that's when you
something.
know, yeah.
Exactly.
So she's basically saying, "Get the hell out of here! No one ain't here. You can't come here." Blah blah blah. Pointing the gun, calling for her husband, who you haven't seen yet. Yeah, but he's in the back because he's calling to him. And so the Indian guys, there's about what four or five of them on
Yeah.
horseback. Yeah,
Yeah.
imagine. Yeah, they're on horses. Yeah, and he's on foot. How they ain't caught him yet? Right. Anyway, right. So
I didn't think of
they
that point actually, but yeah,
they
that's a good
they
point.
they
Exactly.
basically sort of look into the sky, and you can see that the sky is sunset is coming. Yeah, the
Mm.
sun this is getting darker. They look at the sky, and they're like, right, we're off. Like, good luck if you let him in there. Good luck. May God be with you.
Yeah.
All of that, and they galloped out of there.
Yeah.
Like, if it got dark, he could still catch them. Do you know what I mean? So they chipped and
they
said, "Good luck to you, mate." And
they were
that's when
like,
I thought, yeah, he's definitely one
Hilarious.
of them vampires. But
yeah, he
he
said,
wants
see
to
you
take it
later.
on from here.
Yeah,
What
so
happens
then
when?
they go
Okay,
back.
so then,
She goes back in to the house to go tell her husband some Native Americans or Indians as she calls them just turned up at the door. And she goes upstairs and her husband's lying in a pool of blood. And the guy that she's just let in is sitting in a chair opposite, smiling with blood pouring from his lips. And then she screams. And yeah, her husband then gets
that,
up.
yeah, he
Husband gets up.
reanimates.
He reanimates, and yeah, he looks like a scary looking evil dude as well. And then she screams, and then cutscene. We're finally now into like a different movie.
Mm.
Um, And I think the only thing I would say about the Indians or the Native Americans is I was a little bit disappointed that that was their only influence in this whole entire movie. I think that really annoyed me because why not bring those characters back? I genuinely thought they would have something to do with the ending because I just thought, as a writing point, that's a very good trope. Like you have them come in there, you know that in some way they've got knowledge about this thing. So therefore, it would have been, especially with the whole kind of vibe of the film, I thought it would have been a nice thing to have the black folks team up with the Indians and share some kind of like, you know, knowledge in
Do
terms
you know
of
what?
defeating these vampires. I was expecting it. I was totally
Do you know? Do you know?
expecting it because they set
I
it
was
up.
expecting to see them again, but not at the end. I was expecting to see them again uh during the night,
Mm.
but turned.
No, I wasn't
So
expecting them
you
to be
thought
That's
they
turned.
were
what I
going to
was
be
expecting
vampires
to.
as well?
Yeah, I expected them to see them yam up already.
Nah, I didn't at all. I thought if anyone knows how to deal with this problem, it's gonna be them. That's what I thought. I thought they were gonna be the key to solving the actual problem at the end. Like, all right, we can know how we're kind of getting rid of these people, but it's not quite working, and they were gonna have that little missing bit of information that our folks needed to finally defeat the people. I thought basically the yeah Anna's method was going to team up with their method, and then we'll finally get the final method. But anyway, we're moving too far. Moving too far. So eventually, yeah. So oh, we forgot a little bit as well. So before, um, is it Stacks or Smokes? They get back. They go and meet Anna at the house.
Oh
That's
yeah,
Smoke, isn't it?
smoke. Yeah, yeah,
Smoke
yeah.
goes and visits Anna at the house.
It's his
Anna's
girl, innit?
his girlfriend, who he hasn't seen for a while, because obviously he's been off in Chicago. And we find out at that point as well he's lost a child that he
Yeah.
shared with Anna. He crouches down outside the house over looks like a makeshift grave, and then the two of them kind of have a little bit of banter in the house where she's kind of playing like she's kind of angry with him for a bit, and then they rekindle by I suppose having a little bit of sexy time in the house.
But she's
And that
also a spiritualist as
she's
well.
very much a spiritualist. She's into I think they call it hoodoo, not voodoo,
Mm.
and it's all involves about spirituality, potions, protection, and we see that he's wearing a necklace
Yeah.
that she's supposed to have been protecting him while he was in the war, while he's in Chicago, and he's still wearing it at that
And
point.
he lays down something at his child's like gravesite. He lays, is it like sage or something? He lays down some kind of herbal or something when he
Okay,
bends down and is paying respects to her as well. So I
right.
think there's
Okay,
that element running through.
yeah, yeah. Um, okay, so
She
now,
she she come across like a bit of a voodoo artist or a black in the devil's
yeah, I
delves
said that
into the
earlier.
black arts. Yeah.
It's not voodoo though; it's called
It's
hoodoo.
yeah, but it's spiritual. It's more than
Yeah.
the westernized version of saying it's like dark arts or whatever. It's
Mm,
It
just
looked like for protection, that sort of thing.
yeah,
mm,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, definitely. So they get back to the bar. I'm just going to call it the bar. They get back to the bar and they start literally like setting up shop. Everyone's taking position. You got Cornbread on the door. You got the musicians kind of, getting into position. You got Grace setting up the bar. Everything looks like, yeah, all right,
Yeah, the
this is
food is
working out.
cooking.
Food is cooking, everything's working out. And yeah, because he wanted Smoke was there because he kind of wanted Anna to do the food, but we said that earlier. So she's on board with that as well. So all the pieces are in the right place now. And then they start kind of making some music. We hear Sammy sing, we hear Slim Delta sing, and that singing conjures some spirits from the past and from the future, which they depict in terms of from a filming point of view. It's almost like a montage of music from all the different genres, from black music, from from way back in the day, like from African days up until present days America, which I thought was probably my favorite scene in the movie. Just
Yeah, when they were cut in between, right?
yeah, just the way they displayed that, I thought was really, really, really good. And I think that was shot well. And I don't know, at that point, I felt like I was still in safe hands here because I was like, okay, I'm kind of gonna forget about the vampire scene that we just saw, and I'm still in love with what I'm seeing in this movie in this part. I still
Okay,
felt like
so
it felt righteous at this point.
up until this point, so I take it you're not a vampire lover or
I
like
hate
any
vampire
kind of.
movies.
What about
Well,
horror?
I
What about
don't.
horror?
I know
Or
I'm with Sheg. It's not that I hate vampire movies. First of all, it takes a really really good vampire movie
get
to
that
kind of get
buy-in?
for me to buy in. I think as Sheg Leon said earlier that it's got obviously remnants of Dust Till Dawn in this movie. The reason why Dust Till Dawn worked on me is because you genuinely didn't know that you were watching a vampire movie until that exact moment that they wanted you to know that. And with this film, they kind of spoiled it straight away. I actually think they should not have had that scene with the vampire running to the house. They shouldn't have done that at all. In fact, I'm going to go later on. I'm going to give you my thoughts of how I think they should have made this film, but we're not there yet. But I think that's one scene with what we just described earlier kind of ruined the surprise in the movie. And I think that's why Dust Till Dawn works really well. I didn't know when I was watching Dust Till Dawn that that's the film that I'd signed up for. So when I got that movie, even though I was surprised, I was intrigued because it wasn't the type of film I would actually stick on. But, there's a lot of elements that are very similar. Good cast, good writing, out in the middle
Good
of
music,
the
good
desert,
music.
good
I like the
music,
Music was
music.
good.
out in the middle of the desert, and
But
then
up until this point, I don't think so. I don't like horror movies. I'm not really a big. I absolutely hate vampire movies. So, so for me, I went into this on a low already.
Quick question
So,
though. Why does everyone here, part excluding me, hate vampire films? What is it about vampire films you don't like? Let's just clear the air with that because I
all
want to
right.
know why. Like
So
no one.
for me, horror movies, I, I just struggle with in general, but specifically vampire, werewolf, all that kind of stuff. I just think the mechanics are all set up and they're all the same. Oh, I need this, which you get in this movie. So you get the same kind of mechanics, and you
when you
kind of
say
know
you need this, you mean to defeat them?
to defeat them. You
Yeah.
need the
Okay, right.
same kind of devices to defeat them in every movie, and it's just rehashed after rehashed, and nothing feels kind of original, which is the same with this movie. But that's why I said there's the deeper meaning to this movie is what I would give this a higher rating for, rather than if I just watched this as a vampire movie. Because yeah, I'm not really a fan of those kind of movies.
So it wasn't just geared towards vampires, it was geared towards something else. It was giving you a message. No,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Okay, I mean, for me personally, I don't like zombie films. I don't like vampire films. Werewolves, for some reason, are probably the only one I have a little bit of time for because I kind of feel like out of all of them, a wolf is a real thing. And like an actual wolf can eat you and kill you in real life. It doesn't even have to be a werewolf. But the thought of a man turning into a wolf, I guess that's one step where I'm like, okay, out of all of them, that's probably the most believable and the only one that would probably get me scared. I'm not scared of zombies or vampires or
You're saying vampires ain't real?
I'm just not scared of it in that sense. In the way that
Okay.
Hollywood presents them, they always lean too far on the seductiveness thing, which is what and I know there's a whole thing about biting the necks, which is why women I think prefer vampires more than men do, because there's a seduction element to the actual vampire itself. You know what I mean? And that's how it's always been depicted in Hollywood. And like that's why they like the whole biting of the neck and drawing the blood and then sucking. Like to me, that's just long. I ain't into none of that. So for me, I'm just not into vampires, period. Not even, and mummies even worse. I don't even know what's there even to be afraid of a mummy. That's just even more crazy to me. So I agree with Rory. All the old ones, for some reason, I don't get it. I don't
How
get
come
it.
you don't like horror movies shagging like vampires and that?
Bruv, horror movies, full stop. Maybe it's because I might have watched a few horror films when I was too young to watch horror films, yeah.
Mm.
And since then, it's just never appealed to me because I remember the first Dracula film I watched. I can remember the name of it. It was called Drink the Blood of Dracula. Yeah.
You went
Mate,
straight in.
I had not, I remember it from now. I must have been about 8. Oh mate, and the thing was, in the film, yeah, they had a garden where Dracula used to go through the garden, jump up on the thing, and get the woman through this window. Now,
Mm.
didn't the garden look like my garden, my back garden? It had the same thing, and where the thing he could jump up was my shed, and then my window was right there, mate. So,
That's
right,
traumatizing. I love
that's the
that.
first one. Then when I was about just licked a teenager, I watched The Omen, mate. Oh,
Mm.
good
Oh
film.
yeah,
No,
that's a
not The
good
Omen,
film.
The
It's a good,
Exorcist. No, The
Oh, The
Exorcist.
Exorcist.
that's
The
a
Yeah.
good film.
Exorcist. Ah.
That's a good film.
Now,
See,
so
I
I think
yeah, go on.
that people that like to watch horror films, the new horror film, I can't wait, they can't get enough. I think that why are you inviting different? I don't know about certain things that they show in horror films. It's when you know things that things could materialize. You understand? I'm
Mm.
not inviting any kind of spirits. I don't know how spirits enter people and enter people's lives, but I think it must be through horror because why would they make it? Why would Hollywood make horror if not to get some? I know. I don't know. I don't want to go too deep, but I don't like horrors. Yeah,
See, I see.
this one wasn't too bad. I stomached it, but
I,
no, I'll pay money and walk out. What am I
I'm the
watching that
same.
shit for?
I'm the same as you though, because when I was younger, I was introduced like when you're getting babysitted by your aunts or uncles or whatever, and they think it's funny to put on a horror film like Hellraiser or something like that with
Ah,
man's with
mad.
pin in his head and stuff. So I'm behind the sofa looking and like, oh, it's scary, but I remember that. But then as I got older, I viewed horror movies as comedy. So I used to find the comedy element in like all Freddy's to me are jokes. I could watch Freddy and just bust up laughing, bro. Like, because to me it's funny, and I feel like it's because from a young age I watched it, and I was conditioned not to. I feel like fear it as much because I know it's a film. Do you get what I'm saying?
mm,
And
Is the Freddy one the one where you can't sleep?
yeah,
yeah.
he goes into your dreams, bro.
Come
If you
on,
fall
man.
asleep, he's in your dreams.
Everyone sleeps. Everyone has to sleep, bro. Can't you? Nah, I can't. I just see. I don't watch them. I didn't watch them. I didn't watch them. You see, I knew Freddy.
Oh
I thought,
man.
yeah, I don't watch them.
See,
Nah.
I
for
think
me, a good horror though is I don't even need to see a killer. For me, I don't like slasher flicks like the Freddy's and the Screams and the whatever,
Funny, bro.
right?
Yeah.
I don't like monster movies. I like supernatural movies. I like it when there's an element of something there. There's a presence. That to me is more scary
Ex
than the
yeah.
other films. Like
Give
when
me an
there's a
example
when
of
there's just like a presence in the house or there's a spirit in the house or something that disturbs the family, like without even showing it. I've watched an entire 120-minute movie where you don't even see anything attack anyone, but the presence of that
Is
thing
that Amityville?
is scary enough. Like some films like that, Amityville, Poltergeist, stuff like that.
Poltergeist is a good film as
I think
well.
to me, I
Bro, did
find
you see what happened to the actors that acted in those films?
yeah, bro, I saw that
And you
stuff. But
still would enjoy watching them? No,
no,
bro.
I'm saying I find those films scarier in terms of the genre of horror. I don't find this type of horror film
yeah.
scary, but I
So I
find that type of horror film scary because to
Yeah.
me that feels more real.
The Shining and all
I
that
kind
kind
of
of
I
thing.
kind of feel the same. Like I'm not really a big fan of those kind of slasher ones. I do like the supernatural a bit more, but I think for me the psychological thrillers and horrors, like the
Mm,
Saw movies, I can buy into because I'm
Okay.
like, okay, this now you're depicting someone who's out of this world in terms of the way they think and what they're willing to put someone through is
Mm.
making that a horror movie. Like I can buy into that because then
So
I'm
it's
like,
the
okay,
more of the mental side than just the
mm,
yeah,
horrific
yeah,
showing
yeah,
of images like that's supposed to be scaring you. It's more of the thought that goes into the
yeah.
movie that you prefer more. I get it, yeah.
Can I ask a question then? So where do they get the ideas from for some of these movies? Have you seen, and I haven't seen it, but I've been told about this film called The Human Centipede. Have you heard
that's
of it?
not a horror movie. That's a nasty
Is
ass
that a
movie.
horror?
I've
It's a
never
horror,
seen it.
mate.
It's
like
horror. It's
Saw.
horrific. I wouldn't say it's a horror. It's horrific.
Well, so where did these people get the ideas to write this madness? You understand? I don't.
Yeah, and again, I'm
It's
not.
not for
I'm not
me.
watching that. I'm not watching that at
Yeah.
all.
It's not for
So
me.
Sinners is basically a horror movie, but it's something that you, Sheg, you actually enjoyed it as well. So this
Yeah,
is probably like
you see, it wasn't scary horror. Like, I wouldn't lose sleep over that because of what else was going on in the film. You know, even the acting, the main vampire white dude, he was a wicked actor. Yeah, he's really good. There was all good actors. I liked the music, as I said, even the way it was shot. You know, it was quite a good film. The music, wow, it was a really good. I thought it was a good. I don't think I'm going to see a better film this year. Film of the
Okay.
year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to go back to that scene, that same scene what we
Yeah.
started to talk about, where it's shifting from time period to time period, and people are playing music like kind of from their era or from their ancestors or something like that. It was for me, that was the beginning of this movie, then tapping into because the movie did open up with a quote about the ancestors as well. So for me,
the
this was the
spiritual side of
beginning,
music.
yeah, of them to now tap into where they're taking this film from this point onwards.
Yeah,
But
if you just brought up a brilliant point there, because at the very beginning, they basically narrated that in every tribe or whatever, there is somebody who's got talent, musical talent. Sometimes it
yeah,
comes through music,
Exactly.
and it says that talent is very good for the tribe, but it can also attract great evil.
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
And then they shot to Sammy.
Yeah, Sammy's
And then it's as if he was the dude with that talent, and he
Yeah.
did have that talent.
I can't remember the name of that. There's a specific name for that kind
That
of
they
vocal.
called it, yeah, they called it something,
Remember it though.
yeah, yeah. Going back to that scene though, where the music was going on, where it was like twisting into different. Was there not flames as well? Did not the place catch on fire
Yeah.
while there
Yeah.
was?
Yeah.
But it wasn't. How
See,
can I
I don't
put
know if
it?
they would just go for a figurative, like, the roof is on fire.
Fire.
We don't
Yeah,
give a
yeah.
shit. Let the
Yeah,
motherfucker burn.
Burn.
That's what I think
Lit,
they were going for.
yeah,
Visual representation
but
of
it
that.
looked like the walls were catching on fire and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then they shot to outside looking
Mm.
in, and it was the guy that was on fire on his back, and
Mm.
the husband and wife. They were
Yeah.
looking at them, and
Yeah.
it was like they were looking. So it was like their view looking at, because you could see it was all fire sort of thing,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't on fire.
No, it
So
wasn't on fire.
Do
no,
you know what I
so
mean? But it was
what
like
I
when the vampires were looking at it, it looked like it was all on fire, and they were getting really stirred up, like with the
So
music
this,
going and all
so
of
this
that.
is this is an interesting point, because when I was reading something today, it said that when they started playing music, the reason why the vampires came is because of that. Like, so the spirits that they conjured inside the environment was also the same music that attracted the vampires on the outside, which is why they
yeah,
turned up. So
yeah.
that
But
was
it was
why.
Sammy. It wasn't just the music. It was
Yeah, it was
mainly
Sammy.
Sammy.
Yeah, yeah.
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 And
Okay.
what I took from that part where you're seeing that fire is so in the beginning as well, you see, I think doesn't it have like Sammy's you see a glimpse of him in the church,
Mm.
Yeah, his dad.
and the dad is telling him, stick to this essentially, like stay here, stick to
Mm.
this. And I took it that okay, this is he's he's trying to get his child to tap into this energy, but his child is still drawn to this music and drawn to this, and like what Sheg was saying about the quote, it's like okay, when you conjure this music, when you call upon it, just be aware of
Where
what
it
comes
invokes.
with it. And he's conjuring the opposite side of what his dad is trying to conjure. So you're seeing the flames, you're seeing that fire which they're drawn to,
Hmm.
like off, essentially.
Absolutely.
Love that.
Absolutely. So yeah, so we've already hinted at they turn up, the three, Joan, Bert, and I guess the lead vampire turn up.
Great names.
Yeah. Joan and Bert. And and they try and get in. They try and get into the shack. But just before this, we have a quick scene of where Stack and Smoke realize that they're not making any profit from the club. And I think Stack is letting in too many non-paying customers at this point, which he feels is a good way to generate business, but his brother feels is a waste of time. That's not how you run a business. So they kind of have a little dispute over what they're going to do. And then lo and behold, these vampires turn up.
Well, Mary arrives before that as well, and they're like, "What are you doing here? What are you gonna come in here and all this?" So there's a bit of Tahoo that Mary's arrived there as well.
Mary's there, and they're a bit apprehensive of letting her in because she's biracial and she looks like she could be white to most people, and they're thinking this could be trouble. And then obviously so then the three vampires knock on the door. They want them to invite them in because with vampires, with most things, like Shake said earlier, you need to invite these things into your life. So they can't just enter the bar unless they're invited in, and they try and manipulate. And the main reason why Smoke doesn't want to let them in is because they're white and he doesn't want any trouble. He doesn't want anyone to, accidentally spill a drink on them, and then it kicks off, and the next thing you know, you've got a load of white people at the door trying to create a madness there. So they're not looking at it from this point of view that these people are vampires. They have no idea that these people are vampires. They're just like, you're not coming in because you're going to bring problem to our door. And then they said, well, they can play music as well. And they played some funky ass tune. What was that tune about? Picking something out of a robin?
The Robin did something with what now? Like,
picking out something out of a robin. And they sung this tune. They thought this
Pitch
tune was
perfect.
Yeah, pitch perfect. They thought the tune was dope to the point where they nearly got in with that tune. That's what's so nuts about it. It was almost like, okay, maybe I do a thing with these guys. But and then did they offer them gold at this point? They don't, do they? Isn't it? It's later when Mary goes outside, isn't it? That they offer the gold coins.
No, I think they do because that's how they know they got money. Because that's how they know they've actually got money.
All right, yeah.
But they still turn them away because I think Smoke is just like, nah.
Yeah, I don't trust it. So they walk away slowly, as he says, just in case you change your mind. So they start walking away slowly, and after a few minutes, Mary has a kind of like a mini argument with Stacks inside, and you can tell I had trouble like following these two characters in this movie. But Mary has an argument with Stacks inside about the fact that she feels he should love her more than what else. He said he's willing to die for her, which is why he tries to keep her at bay because he feels like he's protecting her. She gets upset by that. She then leaves and she goes outside and she stumbles upon the three individuals who offer her.
Wasn't she? Didn't she have a discussion about going out there to see what they was up to or something?
Yeah, to get the money.
She didn't just go out there, stumble on them. Stack knew that she was, because did he give her a gun or something?
Yeah, he does. She has a gun. I know she definitely has a gun because she draws it out on them.
I think he offered to go out there, and then she was like, "No, let me feel them out. I can see if what they're saying is true or not." Kind of thing.
And then he gives her the
right,
gun.
actually. Yeah, that did happen. That did happen. So she goes out there anyway, and they have a discussion and they offer the gold. And these gold coins are like the most evil gold coins because they're so shiny. You can tell when it's evil gold coins because they shine in nighttime. Like it's pitch black, and they take them out the bag, and these things look like light. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, we give you these, and it's the same trope from like stories that your mum would tell you when you were a kid, and like the troll who has these gold coins in the bag. You know not to trust that. Anyway. But she sees that like this guy's eyes look a bit dodgy, like they started glowing,
and the guy's drooling, like the saliva was pouring from his mouth.
He was salivating over eating her.
But all of them do it. That's the thing; they all do it.
Yeah, so she jumps back. She jumps back. She draws out a gun. She knows something ain't right with these people, and she tells them, "I'm going to shoot." Blah blah blah. But before she's able to shoot, we kind of see during a cut that the lead one like makes a move for her, like he jumps. At which that was the first point my girlfriend jumped in the movie, so that was quite funny. But yeah, so we now know that she's been turned. We as the viewers know she didn't get out of that. Like she's probably been turned. And she makes her way back to the bar, and Cornbread's on the door, and he's wondering, wait a minute, when did you go out? She's like, I've been out, you're gonna let me back in. So obviously we have the whole inviting thing. So she didn't just walk into the bar, which was funny. So she's asking, you're going to let me back in? So he says, yeah, you can come in. And then off she goes into the bar. So now we know there's one vampire already inside now. Anyone want to take over?
You got the scene where Miles is taking the black girl backstage, back in that lockup room, and he's getting a bit of, he's becoming a man, shall we say. He's getting a bit of trim off the woman, and then
no, he just doesn't get trimmed though. First of all, he puts his head in a forbidden
no, because
place,
remember in the car when he was driving was he driving with Stack in the car in the beginning?
Yeah.
And Stack was telling him what to do to arouse a woman, innit? Remember? So then that's what he practices on that married woman that he met at the train station kind of thing backstage. That's the woman, yeah. So they do a bit of foreplay basically.
And then what did they carry on singing up until that point?
It kind of cut after that. It didn't. Yeah, kind of cut.
Mary takes Stack into the room.
That's it.
Yeah,
they start making love, and and then Smoke sends Sammy to the room to go and get Stack because he feels.
He say, "Where is he? Where is he? Where is he?" Yeah.
But he walks in on them doing their thing, and he realizes
kicking off.
And then he comes back.
There's a drunk in there, and he's kicking off, not paying. They're playing cards or something, and he's not paying or something.
Which is why he wants his brother. So anyway, Sammy comes back and tells Stack that Smoke ain't coming because he's literally coming inside the room, and he's like, no, just go and get my brother. I'll go and get him. So he goes over there, opens up the door, and sees his brother laying on the floor, blood everywhere. And Mary turns around, and she's got her mouth covered with blood. And he immediately just pulls out his guns and starts shooting the hell out of her, which I thought was hilarious. That reaction was just so quick. He didn't mess around at all. He was just like, I'm blasting the hell out of you straight away. So he blasted her, and then she just jumps back up because like you can't kill these people with just normal guns. So she jumps up, and then he realizes, okay,
she runs out the house.
Yeah,
she jumps up and runs out the yard.
Runs
no
outside,
one could catch her.
But happily, she runs out happily, which is too much.
And then he's standing over his brother, or kneeling down by his brother, and he can't believe what he just saw. Everyone else, music stops. Everyone's like, "What the hell's just going on?" Everyone comes in the room, sees that Smoke, Stack is lying there.
The one Stack's the one that's lying there.
Stack's lying on the floor. And and then everyone's kind of alarmed and whatever. At this point, Anna starts getting a vibe that these beings might not be what we think they are. So
and she says to Smoke that we need to get Stack out of the house.
Yeah.
And he ain't having it. He said, "No, he's my brother. He ain't going nowhere." So compromise will lock him in that door.
Yeah.
So they lock him in the room. And before you know it, the vampires come back, don't they? And they knock on the door.
Yeah, because they send everybody out of the club. So when people that went out got yanked.
Yeah.
So there's more out there than in sort of thing.
Yeah. So inside we've got the original crew that they recruited, and probably like one or two other people that have not been like named in the film, so to speak. They're just kind of like extras.
What was the Chinese woman's name again?
Grace
Was it
in the
Grace?
movie.
So
Yeah.
her husband went out to do something. Was it to get the car or something like
He
that?
said, "I'm gonna go get the car," which I just thought was nuts. Did you not just see
No,
what
she
happened?
told him to go and get the car. She said, "Let's get the F out of here." And like
Well,
she
then he's
said,
still
"Get,"
nuts for not
and
saying
then he
no.
went and said, "I'll go and get the car."
He's still nuts for
Ah,
not
But
saying
before that,
no.
I swear Cornbread went for a pee, didn't he?
Cornbread went for a pee.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
yeah, he goes off for a pee, and that's when Slim Delta's on the door.
Oh,
He
that's it.
asks
Yeah,
Slim
yeah, yeah.
Delta to watch the door while I go for a pee. He's gone for a very, very long time, and when he returns, he's also turned. But now when he comes back, but before that, don't they come back? Don't the vampires come back before that and try and get in, or was that the other way around? I'm trying to remember which way around it is.
They do come back once before that, and they try and get in, and
Yeah,
then they refuse. They
but
go
the
to
guy weren't
refuse, and then
turned, was he?
because
they
that's when
show them the
Anna.
money.
Yeah, and that's when
Yeah,
Anna tells them they can't come in here unless we invite them in. So
yeah.
she sets up the
She
first
clocked
rule
it.
to everybody and clock that.
Mm,
Look, that's why he's asking to come in because otherwise
mm.
they would have
And
just
then
walked in.
he grabs his hand, doesn't he?
And
Yeah,
that's an important factor within this film because when they do get in the book, you see how they get in is crazy. That Chinese woman is nuts,
that
bro.
was. I'll tell you now. I'm going to tell you now. That was the part I hated the most about this movie.
Yeah, that was a silly
I'm just
part,
going to let you know
actually.
now, straight off the bat. That was the part I hate about this
Why would you
movie.
do it
I
anyway?
almost turned it off at that point, but anyway, yeah. So they turn up. Cornbread comes back. Let's speed it up a bit. Cornbread comes back, and he does the whole same thing. Hey, you let me come in the club, and that's when they clock that he's definitely one because he would never need to ask to come in. He's the bouncer of the club, but also he's been in and out of the club all day. So why now would he be asking to be invited into the club? So at this point now, that premise has been well and truly set up. They've done that now, that trope a few times. We've got it. And we've now got the residents inside the club trying to hatch a plan of like, okay, they're figuring out what's actually going on now and what are they actually dealing with. Anna's giving them some advice from a spiritual point of view, what she thinks they're dealing with. And I think she, at this point, clocks that they're vampires. They're not what she originally thought they were. Which she had another name for them at first. Was it Hex? She says they're
I
not.
think
Yeah.
so.
I think she called
No,
them
because
Hex.
don't forget, remember that they locked Stack in that room, yeah?
Mm.
Yeah.
Remember how he got out? Yeah. So that was, I think, after, no, or before Cornbread came round, because he just busts through the door basically with his
And he
super
runs
strength
out.
Super
and
strength, yeah.
runs out, which was, I was wondering why they all running out, but they were. I don't know if it was a pact thing. I don't know. Run to the pack because they were all one, weren't they? Once they become turned, they all became sort of one
One mind,
mind.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like a
So
hive
yeah, he was like,
mentality.
yeah, that's it. So when he busts out of there, he busts straight out to the hive, if you like. Because remember, once he'd gone out, he couldn't come back in.
Yeah, that's right.
Like Mary.
Yeah.
Like
But
Mary.
at that scene, I think that was the only scene where I actually felt suspense. So when he was in that room,
Yeah.
and he kind of broke a part of the door, and then the brothers putting his eye towards the hole of the door, that was the only part of the whole movie where I thought, oh, are they gonna? And I thought he was just gonna juke him in his eye, and then it was gonna get like graphic or something like that. That's the only time in the whole movie where I actually felt that kind of edge of my seat kind of suspense.
Yeah. My girlfriend at
I
that point
think
could not look at the screen. She just couldn't even look at the screen. She's
I
like,
think though,
I don't even want to see this.
even though he was turned, he still had that twin brother connection because he was begging him to come, just come, and we'll be together forever, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
That
that's
was
why I
more when
think
he
he
was
didn't juke
outside
him.
as well, though, because when he was
Yeah, that's why he
outside.
didn't juke him because he still loved his brother.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so from that point on now, they've decided they need to protect themselves. Anna's telling everyone you're going to need garlic, water, you're going to need steaks, you're going to need like everything that what Rory said earlier, all the tropes of how you kill vampires. So at this point, you got people sharpening up legs from some chairs and all sorts of stuff going on, preparing to set up shop to kill these vampires. And at this point, there's kind of like they're not safe, but if they ride it out till daytime, they could get out. However, as Leon pointed out earlier, Grace's husband went outside. He returns, and he looks so cavalier and calm, right, that you knew straight away off the bat, okay, you're definitely a vampire. Because the way this guy turns up, all smiling, hey, I got the car. It's car sorted out. Like, he didn't just see what was going on. And on top of that, some guy who was trying to get in the club, who at that point was still a human, not a vampire, he gets eaten in front of this dude, and this dude doesn't even get phased by the fact that someone's getting eaten. So
is it Cornbread eating him or something?
Cornbread's jabbing this dude, yeah.
Eating this dude in front of the guy, and the guy's just looking at her.
He's still trying to get in.
He's like, no, it's fine. And everyone's like, you are definitely a vampire, bro. Like, so anyway, they tell Grace, the leader tells Grace, if you don't let us in, we're gonna go find your daughter and go eat her. And that pulls on her heartstrings. So that's what makes Grace decide that if she can't go out because they won't let Grace go out, then she's gonna do the dumbest thing ever in the movie.
But before that, though, what were the vampires doing outside when they were congregating? They were singing, they were dancing.
Yeah.
They even said they came back to the door, remember? And the main vampire dude, he said like they will leave them alone if they just could have Sammy.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're dancing outside, as Leon says, in some like ritualistic way.
They're doing the river dance from Ireland.
Yeah, they were.
Was it the river dance?
They're
all
doing
different
and they're
dances.
singing in Irish.
So Celtic dancing moves.
Celtic dancing,
Okay.
Hands by the side, all of that, man. Legs up in the air.
That's interesting.
Dancing.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So it's part of Irish folklore, vampires. That's where it comes from. It comes from Ireland.
But they do talk about it in the film, don't they? Because they did say that at the beginning. It has something to do with that as well. But so she's on a mad one. Grace is just like, you know what? If I can't go out, then she shouts out to all of the vampires. I can't remember her exact words, but it was along the lines, just come in here and get me then, motherfuckers, or something like that.
Yeah, come in, you're welcome.
And everyone looks at her like, what? Are you crazy, you stupid bitch? Like, why would you? The thing what kills it, there is so many vampires outside compared to how many people are inside this building, that was straight up a suicide, like, for everybody, right? So she just unalived them all, so to say. But literally. So anyway, next thing you know, they just stroll in. Like, there's not even like any barrier no more. They just all start coming in. There's a mad ruckus up in the place. People are like trying to fight off vampires. It's like what you'd imagine it to be. There's just stakes going in hearts all over the place. Yeah. Blood everywhere. People getting eaten, munched. It's bananas.
There was a massive door. There was like the door that everyone was coming in was the side door. There was a massive like
barn door.
Hey, look at this massive barn door.
Yeah, because it's a wood mill. It's a wood mill, so that's probably where they take the wood in and out of the building. So yeah, so that all kicks off. It's a madness. I'm trying to think who importantly there gets eaten up.
What's Smoke's girlfriend's name or wife's name? The one who done the cooking, the voodoo girl.
What's Anne.
Her name?
Yes.
Anne, yeah.
Anna, sorry. Yeah.
She gets yammed and Smoke shoots her because she said, like, before it all kicked off, she said if she gets yammed, he's got to finish her off. Like, don't let her turn. That's what she said to him. Yeah. So that's what happened. You knew that from she said it, you knew that was what was going to happen. Do you know what I mean? Sort of
anyone that says that in a film, it's
going to happen. Yeah. Don't let me turn into one of those vampires or zombies. And that's what happened. So then he he obviously killed her out of love. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes, I remember that bit. And then it got a bit blurry for me. The
It
next thing
does
I
get a
remember,
bit
they were
blurred.
outside.
There's a lot of madness, and then Delta Slim, he cuts himself, doesn't he? Because that's how he gets them to flee outside. He distracts the vampires with blood coming out of his arm, and he sacrifices himself to so they can flee outside. I think that's how they get outside. So they get outside, and there's at this point, I think there's just Sammy left, Smoke left. I think that's right. No, isn't it just Sammy and Smoke at this point?
I only remember them two.
Yeah, Sammy and Smoke.
Yeah, I don't think there's anyone left.
Because no, hold on. There's is he Sammy's in like a pool of water or something?
Yeah.
And the main vampire, instead of him to just yam him, when he's got the chance to just yam him, he does his old the James Bond speech where the villain says he has a big conversation with James Bond while James Bond is working out how to kill him. Do you know what I mean? Same thing he does with Sammy, but it's Smoke that gets him through the back in the heart with a stake. Was it? Or
yeah, but before that,
what did he
brothers?
He hits him over the head with the guitar, doesn't he? And the guitar wedges into the vampire's head, doesn't it? So because there's a metal kind of sheet on the front of the guitar, and that metal sheet lodges into the vampire's head at first.
What does the vampire do to Sammy? What does he do to him?
Why are you asking questions? Just say, bro.
He marks him. He marks his face. Do you remember? He hit his face. He marks it.
Oh yeah, he gives him that scar, but
yeah.
Leon's just giving me jokes, coming up with these question times all the time.
Because I'm remembering
no,
it.
You remembered.
I remember it. So when I'm remembering it, I'm thinking, yeah, he hits him, but you're missing that point. What does he do? That's why I'm asking the question. So he hits him in his face.
From the guitar middle, the metal bit in the guitar, that bit, isn't it? That licks him somehow. Yeah. But his guitar, that's how the guitar gets mashed up, isn't it? It gets basically cut in half, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, no, he smashes the guitar over his head, but the metal part lodges into the vampire.
Sorry, I'm going to ask another question, Sebastian. What was the story behind that guitar? I swear that he got that guitar from, was it Stax? Stax gave him the guitar and he said that it was someone's fame. It was someone who.
But it wasn't. Though. He lied. He lied about it.
Yeah.
So it was because they were cousins, by the way.
Yeah, they were cousins.
The twins and Sammy, they were cousins.
That's it. Yeah.
And there's a story behind how they had a reputation. Basically, one of them killed the dad.
Oh yeah,
and that's why the boys were so tight.
Because the dad was abusive
to only one of them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And the one that was not being abused was the one that did the killing.
Okay, yes, I think so. Yeah, I think so. So anyway, vampire gets hit in the head, and then, as you said, he gets staked through the heart from the back by Smoke, correct? He then turns into flames. So they've killed the lead vampire. And the others...
Was that because of the sun, though?
Yeah, doesn't the sun come up as well?
It starts to come up at that point.
Yeah.
It starts to come up. It's still dark, though, when they're in the water. So the sun just comes up literally at that precise moment. But yeah, they turn into flames. The vampires are no more. And we just got Sammy and Smoke left. Now, I believe doesn't Sammy get in the whip, jump in the car and start making his way back home at that point?
Yeah, which is quite ironic. It's quite ironic, that is, because on their way to the Juke-Joint, when he was in the car with Stack, Stack was saying to him, "Oh, I bet you'd love to drive this." And he was like,
Mm.
"Yeah, of course I'd love to drive this," thinking he was going to let him drive it. And he goes, "No, you could drive it on the way back." And
Yeah.
ironically,
I
he did
remember
end up
that.
driving it on the way
Way
back, but
back.
not in the
That's
condition
crazy.
that he thought he'd be in. Yeah,
That's
but
true.
we've missed an important part of this story. While the vampires were outside, while they were still inside, they were trying to still negotiate, like saying, "Look, it doesn't have to be like this. Yeah, you just come out here. We'll be all one big, one happy family. We'll enjoy the music." And you're saying, "Look, and the vampires told them that, look, those people that you bought this off, they're planning to kill you.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The
they're planning to
clan.
kill you,
Mm.
right?"
That's how he knew.
And that
Yeah,
is an important thing.
because
Yeah.
Bert and Joan, they are related to that person. Bert
Yes.
is the brother of the person who they bought the sawmill off, who
Yeah.
is a
And the hive mind.
and he's a Ku Klux Klan member.
Mm.
So the plan was apparently to murder them. The Ku Klux Klan were going to turn up and murder Smoke and Stack anyway. Apparently that was the plan. So now we find ourselves the next day. It must be because it's daylight anyway. Smoke turns up back up outside the mill, and he's got some guns in it. I'm trying to think
Yeah.
where he got
Heavy
the guns from.
artillery.
He got some heavy artillery from somewhere. Where did they get the? Was it from his car?
I think it was all the stuff he was carrying on, all the load he had on the back, wasn't it?
Yeah, on the back of the
Chicago,
car.
yeah.
So he
Yeah,
goes to the back of his car, gets a sniper gun at first, I believe, or sniper type of gun anyway, and then he's got a Tommy gun buried in the ground. Anyway, he's loaded up. The Ku Klux Klan members turn up outside the sawmill. They knock on the door, check if anyone's there. No one's in. And you can hear their plan. Their plan was to come in there and just kill everyone. So they were obviously expecting this shindig to still be going on in the early hours of the morning anyway. Obviously, these parties must carry on as a all sunriser, as they used to call them. So then, yeah, next thing you know, they start getting shot up. And they're thinking, where are these bullets coming from? And then we see Smoke is laying down in the middle of the woods with a sniper rifle, taking some of them out. He eventually uses up all his bullets from the sniper rifle, runs a little bit closer, digs up a Tommy gun out of the floor, starts shooting all of them up, and he kills all the Ku Klux Klan members except for the same one that he purchased the sawmill from. And during that moment, he gets shot, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Smoke gets shot, and he gets shot in the midsection. So he asks the guy for a cigarette, the same racist dude on the floor. The guy gives him the cigarette, and then the guy tries to negotiate with him and say something to him. And then Smoke just ends up shooting him with the Tommy gun and killing him off. He then falls down to the ground, and you can see that he's fading. He's fading quickly. He sees his dead child, and he sees his dead ex-wife Anna, and he's reunited with them spiritually, which I thought was a nice scene. Yeah,
It was like Gladiator. Do you remember that happening?
it was very much like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. It entered the afterlife, it looked like.
Did I miss anything there?
No, that's pretty much
Sammy,
that.
That's what happened, innit?
Sammy.
Oh yeah, so Sammy gets to his destination, which is back at the church, and there's somehow the congregation is in there, and Sammy rocks up with like half a guitar in his hand, a big massive scar up his neck and up his cheek. Just battered basically, been through the wars. Yeah, and then his dad basically, he's the preacher, and his dad is like telling him, Sammy, will you leave it alone now? You see now what this could happen. That will you leave this alone? Look like at the guitar, leave this music thing alone. And Sammy's just holding the guitar still, and he ain't saying nothing. Then it cuts to black.
Yeah, it cuts to black.
And then Sammy actually, he doesn't leave it alone, does he? Because he carries on becoming a blues
Yeah, how
player.
far forward does it go? Is it 30 years or 30, 60 years?
I'm not
Can't
too
remember.
Well, it's got to
I'm
be a
trying
long
to.
time because he's a young boy, and then it
He's
ends
an
up
old
he's an
man.
old man
Yeah,
at
it's
that point.
60 years, 60 years in the future now.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, it goes 60 years in the future, and
But they
Sammy
do
as
the
an old
credit thing,
man.
didn't they?
Say again.
In some films, like you know what it's called,
The
where
Stinger.
you no. Is it post credit?
Yeah, the
Post
Stinger.
credit.
That's called a Stinger.
Okay, but they
We're
did
not
a
there
double
yet. We're not
post
there yet.
credit.
Yeah, this was no, this was
Okay,
before post credit. So when they
is
go
it?
back to the club, yeah. So they go back to the club first, and then Sammy's an old man. He's singing, and then he stops playing, and then that's when we see the scar on the old man's face, that which lets us know, okay, that's Sammy.
Still him. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still him. Then they do a little bit of a credit, just a little bit. It's not the official ending yet. And he sits at the bar, and the bouncer from the club comes in the bar and says, "There's two people outside that want to see you." And he's like, "All right,
Can I just before you say that,
uh-huh."
right? Did you notice what the name of the bar was?
I didn't actually. No,
No.
what was
Right.
it?
So the name of the bar was Perline's, right?
Oh, what was it? He named it after the girl.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's when you know it is Sammy's bar. He owns that.
Yeah. Okay.
That's where
I
I
did
knew
get
that,
that
yeah.
from the way the guy was talking to him, though. To be fair, but yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't spot that. I didn't spot the name of the bar.
Yeah, it's because that was the name of the club, Perline's.
Mm.
But it wasn't the actual same Sawmill, was
No,
it?
no,
It was
no.
somewhere else. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's in Chicago, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was like a
And the guy playing him, he's a famous blues player as well. He's like one of the pioneers of blues music. A lot of people like hold that guy up as one of the greats. I can't remember his name actually off the top of my head. I might put it in the comment section if I remember to do that later. But yeah. And then we hear the words, "Yeah, come on in. You can come in." And then at that point, as the audience, you're like, "Oh no, he's just invited someone in." And then you know. And in walks Stacks, isn't it? And Amy. Not Amy, Mary. Sorry.
Mary.
I don't know where Amy just came from. Stacks and Mary walk in, looking modern, like they're wearing modern day clothes. Or I'd say it looks like maybe the 80s now.
Yeah, he looked like he had a Bobby Brown
Maybe
high top.
80s, 90s, yeah. So, but more modern than what we saw before. And they have a conversation, which is an interesting conversation because basically he says that his brother let him live. Well, his brother didn't destroy him at the time, back in when he could have, because they made a deal that as long as he doesn't go and kill Sammy, then he'll let him survive. Which was weird though. It was a weird one. Well, I mean, what was your thoughts on that? Just on that scene alone.
On that scene, I didn't really like these post-credit scenes. I felt like they were
Oh,
too,
really?
yeah, no, but they were too teed up for sequel in mind. So,
Oh, please, no. I hope not.
yeah. So that's that aspect, that whole I let him live. I didn't really like that. It just felt forced. It felt like, oh, you've kind of forced this narrative to keep one of them alive so that we can go again, kind of thing. I absolutely hated the fact that when they was at the bar, he slapped his hand down and you see Stack in a four-finger ring on the thing. Like, I could tell who it was. I didn't really need that.
Exactly.
That's spelled out to me, kind of thing. So those two things, I weren't really.
But I also think they did that because those rings were quite popular in
At
the late
the time.
80s,
Yeah,
early
I know,
90s.
but-
So I think they were trying to go for more there rather than showing you his name. I think they were more going to trying to show you the time period that had passed there. But again, I got that just from his clothing and
Yeah, we got
his
that from the
hairstyle.
height, the slope to
Yeah.
high top or whatever. Like, yeah, we get it.
So anyway, they don't trouble him. They keep to their word. They leave the bar and they leave him in there on Sammy. And Sammy don't look too phased by it because they offer him a deal, didn't they? Said, "Do you want to live forever? Like, we could turn you right now and you can carry on touring for the rest of your life." And Sammy's like, "Nah, I don't really want to live forever because like I've had enough of this life, to be fair." So anyway,
He says he's seen enough.
He's
That's
seen
what his
enough.
words were. I've seen
Yeah.
enough.
So they leave the bar. Then we get the credits, right? Have I missed something there? So then we get the
Yeah.
credits, and then I knew to leave the thing rolling because I thought, all right, this film doesn't want to end, so let's just see if there's more to it. So then at the very, very end of the credits, we get a stinger of Sammy, young version of Sammy, singing in the church, which I think they only did that to show you that this guy could really sing. That's probably the only, for me, that was the only reason why they shot this scene, which was nice. Don't get me wrong. And he was singing this little light of mine, wasn't it? I'm gonna let it shine. I think that's what he was singing. Am I mistaken? But then they do this like Inception moment, like right at the end. I don't know if you caught this. Did you not catch this bit right? So after he finishes singing on the guitar, for that split second, he looks up as if someone walks in the room. And then it ends. That's when it actually ends. So he finishes singing, he stops playing the guitar, and then just at that moment, he looks up to acknowledge someone walking into the room, but you don't get to see who it is. So, and then it ends. Unless there was another one, because I turned it off at that point. But like,
no, but I take it the way you're talking about that last little bit, like that irked you a lot.
That was I wanted to throw the remote at the TV at that point, because I was like,
Why?
What are you even going for there? What are you even trying to do with this scene? Like at the point. So let's get into it. Then. Let me tell you all the reasons why I hated this movie. Right. So. I wouldn't say I hated it yet. I
hated it.
I disliked it.
What would you give out of 10? Out of 10.
All right, wait. Before I give my rating out of 10, I just need to tell you some problematic problems with this film. The problem I had with this movie was, right, this movie was amazing, right, and didn't need any vampires. The film that I wanted to see was actually the film that they put in at the end of the movie. I wanted the Ku Klux Klan to turn up. Like, that could have been the movie on itself. They could have been duped into buying this sawmill. They could have got surrounded by these racist Ku Klux Klan members. And those Ku Klux Klan members could have still been the vampires. That was the part I couldn't understand. Why were they not the vampires? Like, that's the movie that I would have wanted to watch. Why did they just tack that on at the end of the film? I didn't care whether they got killed at the end of the film. It made no difference. I had no emotional attachment to any of those characters at all. And the film would have been a much better movie if the symbology of these Ku Klux Klan members being vampires was played out in the movie as the narrative of this film. If they had bought this sawmill, they had all then got trapped inside the sawmill. These guys surrounded the building. They had to fight their way out of that. There's so much they could have done with that as a film, because that's kind of the film I wanted to see, because the gangster Leon will tell you, I love that whole gangster world. I love that time period. I love it. These two brothers as well. Like that, I've watched a million of these types of films, right? I thought the setup for this was so good that was the film that I genuinely wanted to see. This other film that they introduced in the middle, it was almost like they pitched this movie to someone, right? The movie that I wanted. This is how I feel this went down. They pitched this movie to someone, and someone in the room, some big time exec, was like, yeah, it needs something though. What if there was some vampires in this movie? And no one in the room could say no to this dude, because the only way it was going to get made is if they went along with it. That's the way this film to me kind of felt, right? Because like I said to you, this guy directed this film. I like all these films. I mean, I haven't seen the Creed films, but I've been told that they're really good. But I did like Black Panther. I'm sure I watched Fruitville Station back in the day. I don't mind his directing style. I just felt like with this film, it didn't land for me in the way that I wanted it to. And I think as well, because of the comparison with the Dusk Till Dawn thing, I think Dusk Till Dawn does this better, unfortunately. I really do. That's what I said. When I said to you originally, I wanted to like this film. I really did want to like this movie. But I feel like Dusk Till Dawn nailed the suspense and the surprise element of this film. Once they got rid of the surprise element, this film didn't have much else going for it for me, because it was like, okay, now where are you going to go with this? And it went exactly where I thought it was going to go from that point on. And like I said, the thing I was waiting for at that moment at the end, with the Native Americans were going to turn back up and give us that last nugget of information, didn't even happen. I was fuming. I was like, well, why did you even introduce those characters? It made no difference whether those characters turned up or not. In fact, what I would have done as a writer, I would have had the person that turned up at that woman's door when she pulled out the rifle to be a black person. It could have been a black priest. It could have been a black shaman. It could have been anyone, but a black person should have been there. They should have gave that warning. That would have then played more into the film. But to have the Native Americans there served no purpose at all, other than just to have Native Americans in the movie. So I was disappointed at that. But I think the main problem I had with the film is I felt like it tried too hard to do things and didn't do those things very well. The things that it did do well, that it pulled on my heartstrings, were, like I said, the scenes where they talked about black mythology or black spiritualism and all that kind of stuff. Yes, I thought that was a good movie. And I felt like the other part was just crowbarred into the movie. But I genuinely think this could have just been a gangster movie about two black brothers that were trying to protect their business from these racist Ku Klux Klan members. And I guarantee you now, that would have been a better film. 100% would have been a better movie. And you would have been able to see these two sides as well. Because you would have seen the whole white gang doing their white thing and their racist stuff. And you could have built characters on that side of the fence. And then you build the characters on the other side of the fence. Then you got the Mary character that seems to be trapped in between the two worlds. Like, it's all there. It's all there. It's just like someone just decided to go, nah, let's just put vampires in it. Fuck all that. Fuck all that. It's all there. Someone just came in the room and said, nah, that's too political. Let's
don't you
just
think
chuck
it's about
vampires in.
what do you think the film's about then? I think it's about like black people, no? And
it is, but not in a way that
the things that they had to go through in the past, but also then the spiritual element to it, and then also to the music side of it, like having like the mark of the beast and things like that, vampires sucking blood. I think there's a lot that goes into it.
I get it.
I don't think it's just
not enough.
They just added that part in there.
It's not enough of it.
There's a lot of symbology, I think, in this film.
There's a dash of everything. That's my problem. My problem with this movie was there's a dash of everything, but none of it has any substance. That's the problem. It's almost like it's like there's someone in the room saying, oh, and what if we did this? Oh, and what if we did this? And what if we did this? And all these elements are all fun elements to put in this movie, but I just don't think the movie as a whole worked. Not for me. That's what I'm saying. Once you stuck all these things together, what you got was this mishmash of a film that, for me, I came away feeling very dissatisfied with the film because I felt really passionately like this could have been so dope. It could have been so dope. But the main problem for me was not having the Ku Klux Klan members be the vampires. You still could have sprung that on us. Like, you could have had us believe in, like, as the viewer, right, that they turned up to do this thing, to kill all the black guys, right? And then that's when you flip it on us that we realize once the black guys started killing them and then they started reanimating, then we realized that these Ku Klux Klan members are vampires. That to me is a far more surprising element than the way they did this movie. That's what I'm trying to say. Have this guy come out of nowhere and just running in the desert and knocks on Bert and Joan's door, and then have the native. That whole scene to me felt so clunky. It was just weird. It was so jarring to watch.
I think they might have been going for the thing where if they have it, the vampires as the Ku Klux, then the whole message that they was trying to do around these vampires was, it was almost like they're the people that you don't suspect to be these vampires. If they paint the Ku Klux Klan as the enemy, you're gonna expect that. The moment you hit a Ku Klux Klan and you see the black people, you're gonna expect them to be the enemies.
No, because I saw the guy smoking before he got to Joan and Bert's house. I knew he was the enemy immediately.
Yeah, but they're not trying to highlight that guy is the enemy.
There's more than one enemy.
Highlight is there are enemies that are disguised. And the Ku Klux Klan guys are not disguised enemies. They're trying to highlight.
What I'm saying is they still could have turned some of the black people. They still could have done the same narrative that they did. I just don't think they needed that other character. That's my point. You've already set up the movie.
You see when the guy turned up to the house, though? You see when the guy turned up to the house? When I watched it, I didn't know nothing about vampires. So I thought
You
thought he
didn't
was.
see his
No,
back was
yeah,
smoldering from the
I thought
sun.
he was being tortured or something.
No,
I
I knew
thought,
straight
yeah, I
away.
thought he because I didn't know what Sinners was about, so I just watched it.
Okay.
So when I see him running up to the yard, I'm like, okay, what's going on with this guy? He looks like fucked up. And I saw the Indian man, them on the horseback, and I thought, oh, right, they're torturing him, and they're hunting him down and they're torturing
Mm.
him. That's what I thought in my head. So the element of like surprise was there for me when she
Okay, but
went
then
back
again,
into the
even if
house.
you did think that, they killed that moment within 5 minutes because within 5 minutes you realize what he was because they just showed you in the house. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like
So
Do you know
from
what?
a horror point of view or from a suspense point of view, they didn't even hold that moment long enough. Like they because but what they could have done then, what they could have done to probably save this movie, they should have cut that one scene where you go back in the house and you see. Because then, from your point of view, if you didn't realize at that point that he was a
yeah, I
vampire,
didn't.
which is fair enough because most people probably didn't, right? Then don't show the next scene. The next scene, then when they then turn up at the place where they're trying to get into the bar, again at that point, then we still wouldn't know they're vampires. So our first notion would be when they turned on Mary. That's a better movie.
Okay,
That's a
can I
better
just say
movie.
something?
That's what I'm
Can I just
saying.
say? Can I just say something about the Indian scene? Why I think that that was in there is because my impression was that they've been chasing this guy from their territory, which
Hmm.
wasn't the territory. So from a quite a far place,
Hmm.
like Indian territory.
Hmm.
So it showed that the vampire had come from afar and was now coming to a new area, and they was trying to sort of capture it, kill it before it could spread, if you like. It's like they must have killed some of them where they're coming from. Do you know what I'm saying?
I get what your
He
point is, but
right.
then
So what I'm saying is when they got to that point where the sun was going down, they knew the capabilities of this vampire. They knew that this vampire can jump and run fast and all of that. So
That's why
that's
they
why
did
they
that.
chipped.
Mm.
okay,
That's why
so
they
that my
chipped.
point still stands then. If you keep that scene in, that makes
Mm.
sense, but you can't show the next scene where he's already eaten those two people. If you're going to long this part out, if you're going to keep the suspense, the first time we should realize that they're vampires is when they turn on Mary. That's how you do this film because then the film changes at that point. Then you're going to
Then
get that shock element of like, whoa, okay, what
then
just
more people
happened?
would have compared it to Dust Till Dawn because
But it
that's
was
based.
already. It was
Yeah,
already. And that's what I'm saying. To me, it was already. But having that scene in for me, the moment they showed that scene, I was just basically like, well what's the point now? Like, I just didn't see the point of even trying to go through the rest of the stages because you've now already killed any surprise element, any suspense element. I already know. And I don't even think he was particularly a good vampire. That's what I'm saying. Like, because so with Dust Till Dawn, have we all seen Dust Till Dawn?
Yeah.
Obviously you got the moment with Salma Hayek, yeah? So you have a moment in that film where everybody's watching Salma Hayek perform this dance on the stage with the snake, right? You're
Hmm.
so engrossed in that moment, right? That when it switches, you are seriously shocked. You're like, oh
yeah,
snap. I remember that feeling
yeah.
because
Me
like
too,
my
bro.
brain was not on vampires at that moment. It was I was looking at Salma Hayek, so that's what they killed. They still could have had that moment in this film. And to be fair, it was only 15 minutes later. But I'm telling you, you take that scene out and show this movie to someone else again. When they switch on Mary, this film becomes a whole different film. A whole different film. I can tell you that guaranteed. And I think it holds up better. But I still do think they missed a trick with the Ku Klux Klan. I just still think they missed a trick with the Ku Klux Klan. I still think they missed a trick not bringing back the Native Americans. Because even to your point that you said earlier about someone said you expected them to be like vampire versions of them as well. That would have been a very good thing. That if you did see them turn up and then you saw the Native Americans come back and they killed off some of their own people to do that as well, same way the black people had to kill off some of their own people. I feel like again, there's a trope that you've already introduced so early in the movie, and it felt like the presence of that man turning up. I was engrossed at that point. I was like, okay, yeah, this guy looks serious. You know what I mean? Like And like Sheg said, that you felt like there was a backstory there. I mean, Sheg's already invented a whole backstory that didn't exist in the movie. That's what I'm trying to say. I want to see it.
That
I think
existed in
that I
my
think you're
mind.
gonna see it. I think you're gonna see it in part two.
I don't want a
In
part two of this. I will
they're
never go
making
watch a
another one.
I will
I
never
think
go
they're
watch
making
part
another
two of
one.
this.
You're not gonna
100%.
watch it then, Seb?
Did
No.
you?
Nah,
Can I just say
nah.
something though? You know
I
when
didn't watch
going
Dust
back
Till Dawn
to
part two either, just for the record.
going back to from Dusk Till Dawn, yeah,
Mm,
right. So I remember when that film came before that when that film was coming out. I
mm,
remember, yeah, and it wasn't advertised as a vampire film. It was advertised as the next Tarantino film, yeah.
mm-hmm,
But whereas this one, Sinners,
mm.
I knew it was a vampire film
I did. It
before.
wasn't advertised as a vampire film because it's not in the trailer. It's definitely
See,
not
I
in the
didn't watch
trailer.
it. I didn't watch it for about 6 months after it was released. So
Okay, so you got
people
spoiled
would,
then. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
well, yeah,
spoilers.
yeah. So I knew it was. There was. That's where I knew it was a horror.
No, I could tell it was a supernatural film just from the trailer, but I didn't know it was a vampire film from the
Yeah.
trailer. Go
Right.
on,
So
go on.
I think
My
I
rant
think
enough. Go on.
I think surface level it was a vampire movie. So I think those story plot issues I would have if I was just looking at it like that kind of movie. So
Yeah.
so if I was taking it for that kind of movie, I said it would probably be about, I don't know, a 6 or something for me. Where this movie took it to the next level for me is because of all the symbolism that was in the film. So
Yeah, but
I'm
I feel
looking,
like they
no,
did
no,
it
no,
on
wait, wait,
purpose,
wait, wait,
though.
wait,
Let him
wait,
break
wait,
it
wait,
down. Let
wait,
him talk. Let him
wait.
Go on.
talk.
So I'm looking at, all right, this whole movie is about our culture and our culture being passed through our ancestors, right?
Mm,
And tapping into our inner chi, basically. That when they explain that only select people can draw these vampires out, it's those people, those like your Jimi Hendrix, your phenomenal
I got that. Yeah.
artists in any
Mm,
sense that
mm-hmm,
tap into something that harks back down to our lineage, and
mm,
it draws outsiders in. And for me, you had Michael B. Jordan play Stack and Smoke, which is essentially weed and money.
mm-hmm,
Two things that corrupt our culture. They're both going for this whole movie out for themselves, and they make the deal with these outsiders and essentially bring these outsiders into our culture, and it's the rest of our culture that suffers because of it.
mm-hmm,
And so you have the whole thing of them needing to be invited in is almost like the people that you got in the executive seats in these
mm-hmm,
record labels and whatnot, and they're making the deals with these other people, and it's everyone else who suffers, everyone else who has to pay the price.
mm,
That message was going out throughout the whole movie, and for me that's when I was looking at it like, okay, they're not just depicting a vampire movie, they're bringing something different to it. Because like I said, if this was just a vampire movie, I would have been off from the first 10-20 minutes. It wouldn't have held my interest. But the fact that they were touching on these points, that they're going into the whole father who's spiritual in terms of religious, and he's trying to tell this kid, look, this is what comes with this culture, this is what comes with it. And the two, and even the scene with Smoke and the Sammy, and he's trying to tell him, no, we can't go to that other town and live a normal life. You need to stop doing this and go live that life rather than being involved in this, because he's seen it, he's been there, he's grew up with it. Like he said, he's been touched, there was all like molestation or whatever kind of growing up in their environment. So there was a lot of the evils that was around them and
mm.
trying to get into their culture. And so the fact that I don't know, they had to go through that, and he then had to go and seek out his father at the end to pull him out of that. And then he was still performing, but now he was conscious of the evils that is within this music industry. So come the end of the movie, he's like, I ain't fretting about anything. I've seen the worst that it is. Now I know I can just live my life and play, and I ain't gonna be tempted or sucked into any other kind of temptation, shall we
Mm.
say.
I
That
agree with
aspect
you
of the movie
100%. Yeah.
is what held my attention
Yeah.
more so than the people getting yammed
But
outside and
that's
blah blah blah.
exactly my point. What you just said there is what I loved about the movie and the film I wanted it to be. And that's why I said, to me, the vampire element of this film was jarring, and they could have used a different metaphor for the vampire. That's what I'm saying. Or if they were going to have a vampire, I just wanted them to be more sophisticated and come across more, I suppose, more like a I don't know, what we would probably look at in terms of a sophisticated character that is feeding off of our culture. I just felt like this was too heavy-handed to just call it a vampire, and it is actually a vampire. That's my point that I think I'm trying to make, is that you can have that metaphor, but play it in a much more subtle way, that there's a nuance to it, that when I'm watching the film, that moment that you just said comes
Yeah.
towards the end of the movie, and I'm like, oh, okay, I see what they're doing. Whereas everything you just said, I got that, and I saw all those elements, but I felt like those symbols were so heavy-handed that you couldn't not see them, because that they were literally putting them in the films as tropes. But I
No,
just
but
felt like
I think a lot of people that watch this movie haven't seen the cultural kind of
significance of the film.
yeah.
Okay.
I think a lot of people that watch this movie are watching it as, oh yeah, it was such and such, then turned into a vampire movie,
Mm,
missing the whole cultural side of it and how
mm,
we are letting people into the culture
mm,
that is bad for it and
mm,
at the detriment of everyone else that is in the culture. I think a lot
mm,
of people miss that aspect of it and only
mm,
take it on face value for what it is. Oh yeah, the action scenes. Did you see when that happened? Did you see when that happened? They
mm.
totally missed that sub
And I think that's really
plot.
what kind of
Yeah,
annoyed me,
yeah,
because I felt like,
yeah,
for me,
yeah, 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 yeah. I've
I
had my
felt,
hand up, yeah. No one's acknowledged me,
no,
yeah.
I've
So I'm
acknowledged you. I'm
just gonna,
coming
no,
to
I'm
you.
just
I'm
gonna
coming to
overtalk you.
you.
No, I'm gonna
I haven't finished
overtalk
my
you.
point.
No, no.
My
Has
point
any, can
being,
I ask you a question, yeah? Has
oh, here we go.
anybody actually realized, yeah,
Hit with Leo with the
like the
questions.
title, you know, the title, you have to stick up for yourself. The title of the film
Can't ask questions,
is
bro.
called Sinners.
Yes.
Have you realized why it's called Sinners? Have you not
Uh,
realized that most of all of the actual main characters in that film are actual sinners
Sinners.
mm.
in one way or the other?
Mm.
But this is my
That
point. I think the point that you guys are making is the point that I don't like. It's all too heavy-handed. Even the title, that's my point. It's like it's too on the nose. Let me do some working out. That's my point. It's just too much. You called the film Sinners. You got actual literal vampires in it. You're showing me the thing that you talked about, like I said, with the passing down the heritage. They literally showed you that in the movie. Like, there was a visual representation of that when they started playing music. Like, he's a preacher's son. Like, everything is so on the nose that I felt, for me, like I was beaten over the head with the narrative, rather than me just being able to enjoy the movie and pick out some of these themes where I'm like, okay, because that's what makes me want to go back and watch a movie. So the thing is, that's the reason why I won't go back and watch this movie, because I don't feel like I missed anything. I
I
don't
think
feel
you
like I
did.
missed anything. No, I don't
What
feel
you
like I
did,
missed
you did.
anything.
I
You
think
did,
you
bruv.
did.
You missed the name of the what he named his club after, for one. That's one thing you missed.
Well, again,
But
And
also
then you missed
also
loads and
doesn't
loads of
doesn't
things,
also
bruv.
doesn't
Trust me.
change the film of the
talking
actual
about
narrative of
culture
the
though,
film.
what
Yeah.
what our culture has, it has the mark of the beast, which Sammy had on his face. He had
Mm,
the mark of the beast.
What do you
mm,
mean
I
our
think
culture's got the mark of the beast on it?
because when you think about our culture and you think about the music that we do, say like hip hop for instance, who is it run by?
mm,
Do you get what I'm saying? Who's telling these rappers to rap a certain way to then infect our culture to be acting and being a certain way? Do you get what I'm saying? And that's when you're inviting these vampires in. And this is when these vampires are, sucking your blood, let's say, and turning you. And then when they're turning you, you have the mark of the beast.
mm-hmm.
And they're looking out for the most talented people to reach you and infect you to then become part of that. So this is when where you're thinking about our culture and you see all these people running around like maniacs and kids stabbing each other and stuff like that. You got drill music and blah blah blah, and they're using people like Central C and they're championing him and stuff like that. He's got that voice. Let's use that, brother, and then push it on upon the people that you know he's going to infect, which are this generation that are going around stabbing each other, because they're the ones that are being infected by the vampires, and it's the vampires that are sucking their bloods because they're the ones that are dying out on the streets. Do you get what I'm saying? So, in terms of the cultural aspect of this film, Sinners, I'm with Rory. What Rory was saying.
Yeah, but what you just said wasn't the movie. That's my point. I wanted that movie.
But that's what I'm trying to say. The message, yeah,
no,
I'm interpreting it that way.
But that's not what. That wasn't the interpretation of this film. That's my point. What you just said was the other way round. We didn't see that person influence Sammy to make music in order to do what you just said. But he
had the mark of the beast. That's what I'm trying to say.
No, but
so when
that wasn't the film. That's what I'm saying. But
when you see the mark on his face, you understand that he's a talented person, and it's the most talented people that have the mark of the beast that are influencing people. I understand what you're saying, but that's what I got from it when I watched it.
I need the breadcrumbs before that leading up to Sammy to become the musician. So then when it comes full circle, you're like, oh my days. That vampire...
No one taught Sammy. He was a natural.
Yeah, but that's my point. To make this film the way that the message that Leon just said is the message that I think that the writer wanted people to get. And what I'm saying is that's not in the film. That's my point. It's because in order to do it the way Leon just said it, you need to introduce this vampire character to be a character that shows that level of manipulation. The vampire in this movie was not manipulating anyone. He wasn't doing it in that fashion, in the way that Leon is describing it.
The vampire was interested in the most talented. Remember,
yeah,
he said that he only wanted Sammy.
Yeah, but we didn't
because
see
if
that.
If he got Sammy, he knew that
he didn't.
He could affect the whole world with this shit.
Yeah, but we'd need to see him do that before, so we know that. That's my point. We didn't see him do that with another version of Sammy. They didn't talk about that. There was no backstory to that to show that. That's my point. If we saw that beforehand, and then we now know the significance of Sammy's character, that what you just said makes more sense as a narrative. That's my point. But because they never showed that, and they never showed what would happen if you actually got Sammy, we never know that. That's what I'm saying. What you're doing is you're writing the movie a better version. That's what I'm trying to say.
But I got that from the depiction of when they're in the place.
Because that's what they wanted the film to be. But that's not
when
what
they
the
were
film
going
was.
through each generation of our music. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's why I think that.
So my point being that one scene, like I told you, was my favorite scene in the movie because at that moment I was thinking, "Oh, this is the film we're gonna get," and then that wasn't the film I got. That's my point. That's why I said to you earlier that was my favorite scene because I thought that's where this film was genuinely going, and it weren't going there. I think he put that scene in the movie to have that thought in your head that you just had.
That's what I took from it anyway.
But I took from that scene that that's what the vampires see.
Two things with that though is because I don't think you can hate a movie for what it isn't doing. Like where you said, oh, from that point I wanted this kind of movie. You can't then downgrade the movie you're watching because it isn't this kind of movie. Like, that's not on the movie. That's on you. You're going into that movie expecting that movie. So you can't.
No, they set it up.
You can't downgrade that movie because of that. And the other thing is, I remember in Dust to Dawn, there's no backstory for you. Got to remember, this is a vampire genre. There's no backstory for these vampire genres, bro. In Dust Till Dawn, there was no backstory to these vampires.
Listen, I didn't say Dust Till Dawn was the best movie ever, but I'm
just saying, as a comparison,
they created that moment better, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
but Dust Till Dawn wasn't also going for this whole mythology and black history and blah, blah, blah. So they stayed in their lane. That's the thing. Once you come out of your lane, then you need to provide more for me because this side of the palette is so refined and so perfectly done that then if you're now going to fuse this with another genre of a movie, then you need that type of level of refinery to match that. And that's what I'm saying. That side of the movie didn't match that side of the artwork. That side of the artwork looks beautiful. And it was almost like someone else was writing that version of the film as opposed to this version for it. And that's why I think a lot of people compared this to Dust Till Dawn because it's like they just mashed the two films together because I literally do see this as two films. I can't come away from this any other way. I look at it like it's two films that have been squeezed into one movie because one is painted so well that I really felt like you're making a 2 hour movie. Let's fill it with some stuff. Simple as that.
Is
Like,
it to make you think, you reckon, like to do a deep
no,
dive to
that's what I'm
understand?
saying. No, it's
What
not.
what is okay? So
It's
the
I was
annoying me
happy
that
with the film, bro. I'm happy with the
what
film.
so
Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I'm not saying this to
I want
make
to
you
know.
hate it.
Yeah, I want to know what film is perfect for you, bro.
I'm
Because
not.
you know what I mean.
I don't ever look for a perfect movie. I'm just telling you what's wrong with this one. Okay, there's no such thing as a perfect
Bro,
movie. At
don't
the end of
spoil
the
the
day,
film for me, bro.
I'm not spoiling it
Don't
for
spoil
you.
the film for the millions that are watching.
If you liked it, then you liked it. That's all that
you liked it,
matters.
bro?
I
But
think
I'm
I
not
think the
saying what I'm
aspect,
saying to make people hate
yeah.
it. I'm saying what I'm
I'm
saying
gonna
because
watch it again.
I feel like they missed the trick.
How
That's
about
all I'm saying.
that?
But I definitely couldn't watch it again because it doesn't have enough for me to say,
I think
okay,
you
I would
should watch
return
it
to this.
again with what Rory had in mind, what
No,
Rory
that
was
I
talking
already had
about.
that
No,
in
see,
mind. I said that earlier. That's what
but
I thought the film was about.
I think I
What I'm
wouldn't
saying
watch
is they
this
didn't
movie
deliver
again.
that.
I think I wouldn't watch this movie again, but it's because there's things that you're saying, Seb, is the reasons why I wouldn't watch this movie again. But I think that is a genre specific issue. I think if you go in watching a horror or a vampire movie, you can't expect the storyline, the actual tightness that you do when you're watching a thriller or anything else. Like you gotta also, like, you can't go into an action movie and think, yeah, but everything blew up, didn't it? Like that's just dumb. Like you gotta also understand that this is the genre
I hear
of this
you.
movie, and so that you gotta then take on the other things they did around that
No, I
genre
hear
to
you.
make
I
it
hear
Yeah.
different.
you. I do
Yeah,
feel like
you can't watch a Columbo movie, yeah, and
Mm.
and not expect Columbo to get the guy. You get me?
But like, let's just give our final ratings on this then. Out of 1 out of 10, maybe, or yeah, let's do 1 out of 10. Go on, Leon. What would you give
I'll
it?
give it a 6.
Okay, Sheg, sounds like you give it a 10.
Wait, are
But
we doing 0.5s or no?
no
Yes.
point
Yeah.
fives.
Okay.
You gotta round it up. Sheg, go on.
Do your 0.5.
No, I'll give it a 7. I'll give it a 7.
Solid 7.
I was thinking about giving it a 7.5. I couldn't give it an 8, 9, or 10. No way. But
It's above
I
average.
yeah, I think I'll give it a 7.
I'll give it an 8 because it's the best film I've seen so far this year.
Okay. All right, I'll go with Leon. I'm gonna give it a 6. So therefore, I'm not saying I hate the movie. What I'm saying is the movie failed to deliver what I thought it was gonna deliver on. So,
Come
but it's
on, man.
not. It's
That's
not
Where
the
did it come
worst.
from? Hollywood. It came from Hollywood. They're all going to
No,
fail
you
to
can't
give
say
you what
that.
you
I
want.
watch loads of Hollywood movies that have dope, so I can't.
Tell
I
me
can't say
one. I
that.
keep asking you to
can't
tell
say
me
that.
one, and you can't tell me one,
I'll
bro.
give you a list next week. We'll do
No,
a
I
list
want
of
one
films.
now, bro.
No, I can't
I'll
think off
have
the top
one.
of
I'll
my head.
take one now.
I can't think off the top of my head.
Hey, please, people in the comments, yeah, please, please
my
ask him
gosh.
to give us one now in the comments, yeah.
But
Thank
6,
you.
I think, is about right for me. I think, yeah, I couldn't. 7 is too close to 10. Six is about right for me. I feel like it did do some things very, very well, very, very well. Like I said, I loved the whole start of the movie, the tone of it, and everything. I thought,
Yeah, it's a
okay,
good film. I
we're
can't watch it again though.
we're on to a winner. See, so the only
Stop
one that
lie.
will
You're
watch
gonna
it
watch it
again
again.
is you, then, Sheg. You're the only one that will
I
watch
could
it
have watched
again.
it again, but I didn't.
I'm guaranteed there's many people that have watched it more than once.
Oh, I had no doubt, no doubt. Yeah, people that love horror films.
So don't say, oh, only you, Sheg, is only going to watch
Out of
it
us
again.
four, I'm
I'm
saying.
not the only one.
Out of
I'm
us
not the only
four,
one.
you're definitely the only one.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
definitely
Then we
the
got
only
the secret one as well. There's
I
going to be
think
one of there. One
what
of
would
these is
be
going to be a
interesting,
secret one.
you know, they got those shows on like YouTube where they do like deep dives on what meanings are of certain things. I think that would be interesting to watch. Like, you know,
No, I think Rory summed it up earlier. That is what the film's about, and that's what I thought it was about watching it. Like, I don't think they didn't hit those beats. I think they did hit all of those beats. I just felt like there wasn't enough behind it for me to get excited. I need that character has to be developed, is what I'm saying, and it just wasn't. But the rest of it's all there. It's like I said, all the pieces are there. They just needed someone to come in and go, okay, just do this and do this. Now you've actually got a villain that works. That villain does represent the thing that you want it to represent. At the moment, it's a dude singing outside of a barn talking about picking stuff out of robins. So that's all I'm saying. Okay, there's two different. There was
There
two
could be
different
symbolism to that as well. The
Dude,
song might have some kind
I
of
bet there is.
symbolism.
I bet there is. I bet there is. But
Okay, but if you then take if you take Black Panther out, right?
yeah,
I've probably seen a few of Michael B. Jordan's movies.
he's
right?
in all of this guy's films, apart from the Black
I think
Messiah.
this is probably his best movie. And
Really?
I take Black Panther out because there's so many other stars in that movie. I can't call that a Michael B. Jordan movie. I'm saying a Michael B. Jordan movie, this for me might be as good as it gets.
You didn't like his character in Black Panther?
The-
Yeah, but that's not a Michael B. Jordan movie. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Take Black Panther and put that to one side.
Talking about Creed and all of them
I haven't
ones.
seen Creed, so I can't really comment
It's
on
a
it.
boxing. It's a boxing thing.
Yeah, I
and
know what
he's
it
like
is. I
Rocky,
know what it
innit?
is, but
He's
I
got
don't know.
that like
I mean,
special ops movie where he's hunting someone down. It's just like, I don't know, man. A lot of the stuff I'm like, I don't know about this movie.
I think
this
he's a
might be his
decent
best
actor.
one.
I don't have anything against Michael B. Jordan. I mean, there was two of them in this film, so you got twice as much Michael B. Jordan.
Couldn't keep up.
But too much going on. But I don't know. I think I can't say I'm going to watch it again. I was just about to say I might watch it again and reflect. The only way that's ever going to happen is from Rad Sheikh's house watching it. So that's the only way that's going to happen.
Yeah, I'll put it on. I'll put it on.
But on that note, I feel like, damn, it's been a while. It's been a long time. We should probably wrap things up. I just want to say thank you once again to everybody who's tuned in to the show. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share as much as you can. Please let us know in the comment section what you thought of this movie, and please let us know any other future movies that you'd like us to review on
No
an
more
upcoming
horrors.
show. No
And if
more
there's
horrors for
anything that
Sheikh.
we missed, that you
Yeah,
think we didn't touch.
enlighten us. If there's even a next layer that none of us caught that could change the whole entire movie for us, I would love to know what it is. But I think we gave it a decent score. To be honest, if the lowest score that it got was 2 6s, I don't think that it done too bad. It definitely wasn't War of the Worlds. So
It was entertaining.
yeah, it was entertaining. I'll give it that. It was definitely entertaining. I think my only problem was, like I said, I thought I wanted to be a bit more serious and a bit more. The tone that I wanted was, in what I was going for was just a little bit different. Anyway, I've ranted enough about it. But and I just want to say thank you to Adisa for recommending the film Sinners for us to review. And yes, of course, anyone else has any more recommendation, please leave them in the comment section, and we will be happy to do that in a future episode.
Adisa.
But yeah, thank you very much, and we will see you again on the next episode. Goodbye.